Your nationally ranked Denver Gymnastics team is back in Magnus for the first home meet of 2018. For the first time in her career, sophomore Maddie Carr holds the #1 NCAA ranking on vault. Can the 8th-ranked Pioneers pull out a win against the in-state rival Falcons? It's time to kick off this season in style, right now on Altitude Sports. It's a beautiful day in the Mile High City, a Sunday afternoon as the Air Force Falcons have traveled up from Colorado Springs to Magnus Arena. What a college gymnastics matchup we have, the Falcons and the Pioneers. Welcome inside Magnus Arena alongside former DU gymnast Marcy Jenkins. I'm Brad Thompson. Thanks for joining us here. It's a pleasure to have you with us on Altitude Sports. It can't get much more exciting than this. The first home meet for the Pioneers, and their team is loaded.
And it's exciting to be here in Magnus Arena for the first meet of the season this year, too. The Pioneers are coming off a great first meet this season. They were ranked 8th in the nation after last week's competition, and they had to count a fall on bars. Two of the freshmen fell, they had to count a fall, and still being ranked 8th in the nation after counting a fall is a huge accomplishment for them. They only were 1/10 behind their score last year, so they have a ton of potential for the rest of the season.
This is a program that wants to stay in the top 10. Last year they finished 9th overall. Now they're 8th this season. So they've got a lot of potential, and it starts with Maddie Carr and Lindsey Brown.
These are two strong gymnasts that are really helping to push the program and the caliber of this program forward. Maddie Carr coming off last season, great performance as a freshman, really showcasing all of her abilities. She knows how to stick those landings, and that's something that at this lift level competition is huge for all of these teams to do. And Lindsey Brown, just a great freshman coming in, super strong on all 4 events, someone they're going to depend on for sure.
And for the Air Force Falcons, 2 players to watch, Mariana Murphy and Tyler Davis.
And these 2 gymnasts are extremely explosive. They've got great vault and floor performances. Their scores aren't going to be the caliber of Maddie Carr and Lindsey, but they'll be great to watch and someone we want to keep an eye on for the rest of the season.
It's an exciting Sunday afternoon here in Magnus Arena, the Mile High City, full of gymnasts ready to watch the Falcons and the Pioneers. It's coming up next on Altitude Sports. Pioneer Gymnastics on Altitude is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Denver Pioneers. Magnus Arena, the Pioneers and the Falcons. Thanks for joining us here on Altitude Sports. We're going to get right into it. Pioneers are going to start on the vault. Deanna Chesnock, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, will be up first for the Pioneers. She's going to get things started. Marcy, the natural thing is, how important is it to get off to a good start?
Super important. And for the Pioneers, they only have 5 competitors on vault. This is the same as we saw last season. They're a little short on vault right now. They had an injury to Claire Hammond, one of their seniors, right before the start of the season. Totally disappointing, but Deanna's done great work this season. Full twisting Yurchenko, beautiful landing, just a little tiny hop on that landing, but great form in the air. That's one thing that they've really been working on through this prep for the season is their form and their execution. Watch, she does a Yurchenko vault, which starts with a round off onto the board, a back handspring onto the vault. And look at that form, beautiful. And this guy just did not have to pike down. The judges are looking for distance away from the vault and those stuck landings. Great start for the Pioneers.
Up on the bars now, Brittany Reed for Air Force. I beg your pardon, Mariana Murphy.
And the gymnasts are required to do release moves, both on the high bar and overshoot to the low. Little short on that handstand. That's something that you'll see. Giant full, little bit loose there on top. Double flyaway, that connection gives her some bonus tenths. Good start for them. Little bit of form deductions here and there, but she stuck the routine, and that's what's going to get them off in the right momentum.
And that's what you want. We talked about both teams getting off to a good start, and it appears that has happened for the Falcons and the Pioneers.
Nice dismount there, good stuck landing.
For the Pioneers, Mia Sundstrom, she is a freshman from Boulder. You love seeing the local products competing for DU. She just had to come down the road here, and she's impressed so far in just her first meet.
She's done a great job. Again, she was one of the falls that they had to count last week at their first meet on bars, but her vault is explosive. Nice job, great height. She could use a little more distance from the vault. The judges are really looking for that height and the distance away from the vault, but she also has great execution on her Yurchenko full. See here the block, just a little high, but not quite as much distance as we'll see from some of the other gymnasts, but another very good start for the Pioneers in vault. Remember, they only have 5, so they have to count every score.
Yeah, that is crucial. And they're not quite at full strength right now. So as you mentioned, just 5 competing on the vault. Tyler Davis, freshman sensation. It's amazing when you look at the composure of some of these freshmen. I'm always impressed. You're thinking, okay, you've only been in school for a semester, especially at Air Force. There's a lot going on outside of class. And yet, freshmen are stepping up for both the Pioneers and the Falcons, and their composure is incredible.
And it's really great to see. And coming from club gymnastics, as most of these gymnasts did leading up into college, it's all about the individual, and college is all about the team. So it's a very different dynamic that they're competing against. And sometimes those nerves can get to you when you know the entire team is depending upon you. But we really have this seen the freshmen do a great job here. There's a giant verse Hecht, her first big release move. Another straddle back to handstand, great form. Teeny bit short on that handstand, but very, very close. Nice handstand right on the top of the bar. Little twist sideways there, a little loose in the middle sections, little slight deduction, but nice dismount. Again, when we watch Air Force on bars, they're doing all the required moves and they're doing their connections to get to their 10-0 start value. But these dismounts, a double tuck, is just less difficulty than we'll see from the Pioneers in the next rotation.
Nicole Addison, the senior from Fort Myers, Florida, up on the vault for the Pioneers.
Nicole gets great height and distance on this vault. She's also doing a Yurchenko full. Nice job. You can see her. She really tried to break out of that and stick that landing. We'll watch that here. You can see the nice block she gets out of her shoulders, beautiful height and distance. She really just tried to absorb it almost a little too much to stick that landing and had to take a slight step backwards.
Now over to the bars for Air Force. Jessica Kirkpatrick, another Colorado native. She's from Broomfield and another freshman.
They have a strong group of freshmen at Air Force. Their recruiting has really beefed up in the last few years.
You've got a huge freshman class when you look at numbers-wise.
They do have a huge freshman class. And again, you mentioned it earlier, just all of the things that at Air Force Academy they have to do when they start. There's a lot of regimens, a lot of things they have to get used to in the rigor that is the Air Force Academy. And to be able to compete gymnastics at this level in parallel with all of that is really amazing for these gymnasts.
It's simply outstanding when you think about being a student athlete is so much, but to do it as a cadet is over the top. It's unbelievable what they have to do.
Lots of pressure.
And compete still.
A little short on that handstand. Good transition to the high bar, nice release move. Little short there again on the overshoot to the low bar. Again, just leaving little tense for the judges to take off. Nice giant full, double flyaway. That was probably the best flyaway I've seen so far from them. Really got some height on that second flip and a nice landing.
Great reaction from Falcon teammates.
You can see she's a little crooked coming out of that giant full, but was able to pull it out. It'll be hard for the judges to see on the side.
Lindsey Brown, freshman sensation for the Pioneers, on vault.
And Lindsey is someone the nation is talking about. Look at that height. Little over rotation now. Lindsey's been sick this week, so she hasn't been able to practice as much as some of the other gymnasts. And vault is all about timing and knowing exactly where you are in midair. And she does one of the hardest vaults that we see in college. You'll see it here again. It's a Yurchenko 1.5. It's a blind landing. It's all about feeling. You can see that big step, but what height she has on that vault. The potential for that score later in the season is huge for that 10-0.
She really impressed a season ago as in high school, and coach knew that coming in what she was capable of. Now Jamie Lewis is up on bars. She's the captain, senior captain from Texas for the Falcons.
And again, as the gymnasts go through this rotation, there's usually 6 gymnasts on every event. They count the top 5 scores. As I mentioned, DU only has 5 on vault. And you usually put your gymnasts up, you put a solid starter, and then you kind of work your difficulty up in the rotation to try to get those higher scores. That was a toe handstand, a little bit of form break there, but nice connection into the reverse hecht. Giant with a half again, little short on those handstands. You can see the leg separation in the air, but she's doing a lot of difficulty in this routine. Then nice toe front with a half dismount. Again, good solid routine, but she left little pieces of room for those judges to take those form deductions. And this is that dismount, toe front with a half. Nice stuck landing.
Maddie Carr, superstar for the Pioneers, just a sophomore on vault.
And Maddie has scored a 10 on this vault in this very arena last year. Little tiny hop on the landing. She just knows, I mentioned this in the open, she just knows those landings and knows where her body is and how to stick those landings. Little tight, tiny hop on that landing. Watch this height, form. She just knows where she is. You can see just a little tiny hop there at the very end, but a great vault and a good first rotation for the Pioneers.
And last year during the regular season, she was a first-team All-American on vault.
And remember, she is in first place after last week's competitions on vault in the nation.
It's unbelievable, the caliber of this Pioneer program. Mariana Murphy is now up on bars. Brittany Reed was the first for the Falcons to compete on bars.
Mariana's their strongest all-arounder for Air Force. Nice handstand there to start. Free hip hand. Nice reverse hecht. You can see the toe point. You can just see the caliber difference between her and some of the other gymnasts on their team. Overshoot to handstand, tiny bit short, but overall doing a nice job. Getting ready for her dismount. Double layout. Little pike down there at the end. The judges could take off a slight deduction for that too, but that was a great routine. You can see why she's one of their top gymnasts.
We talked about her in the open. As you mentioned, the best all-around gymnast.
You can see she had to pike down just a little bit to bring that around. The judges really want to see that open position the entire time through that bar routine, or through that dismount.
And Murphy was the MPSF Gymnast of the Week, taking home a conference award there. And the Pioneers swept the Big 12 Gymnasts of the Week with specialists and freshmen newcomers, and so did Air Force last week. So two squads competing after opening the season with a lot of confidence on the road. And we're going, as you mentioned, the Pioneers do not have anyone on vault for the 6th spot and an exhibition. So we're back to the Falcons on the bars.
We're just waiting for the judges to complete that story. Usually if you have another rotation still going, we have that to happen while we're waiting for the scores. There are 2 judges on each event, and they average the scores to come up with the final.
Anna Solomoni from Bayport, New York. She's going to be up on the bars for Air Force.
And in this 6th position, we would expect to see probably their best routine. A little short on that first handstand. Giant for the full. Into a Ginger release move. Nice height there. Beautiful handstand. Good transition to the low bar. Definitely their strongest bar worker by far. Little short on that handstand. Again, she's leaving those 10s for the judges to take away, but overall, full twisting, double back. Great job. If she can just hit those handstands, she's going to be in the 9-9 category in future meets in the season.
That was impressive.
Full twisting, double flyaway, beautiful height, and a stuck landing.
Pioneers still talking things over. There's going to be an exhibition for the Falcons on bars as well. What we haven't talked about is this arena right now. It is almost full. Magnus Arena packed. It's Colorado Club Day, so all the local clubs have been invited in. There's a ton of young gymnasts, aspiring collegiate gymnasts here, enjoying themselves, and what an environment for college.
It is
athletics.
a great turnout. It really is. I have season tickets to DU hockey, and I've seen games where we have about the same amount of people. The DU hockey team is amazing, and they have a lot of sellouts, but this crowd for gymnastics is just showing the level of interest that we have in Denver for gymnastics and college gymnastics at this level.
I was talking with Coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt yesterday, and she's like, college gymnastics is just off the charts. It's exploding. On my way here, I was looking at ESPN. There was LSU was competing against Florida. I mean, it's a very big-time growing sport, and especially in the Front Range. You have two of these local universities competing. It's awesome to be in this environment.
And
Annalise Howard is up as an exhibition.
And Annalise is an exhibition performer. What this means is that this score will not count toward the team total. It's a last performance. They're able to put one additional competitor up to give them some experience on this event. So usually it's not one of their best routines, but it gives them the ability to do this routine up in front of the crowd, in front of the judges, and really prove themselves to potentially make the lineup in the future.
I really like this aspect of college gymnastics. There's not that pressure, but you're putting that pressure on yourself to perform.
It's really a great opportunity, and there aren't exhibitions in some of the later competitions and the national competitions, but it's a great way in these dual meets to give gymnasts who otherwise wouldn't be able to a chance to compete.
Fellow gymnasts were impressed there from Howard.
Nice double pike dismount and a good strong finish.
One rotation in the books. The Pioneers started on vault, and the Falcons started on bars. We'll wait to see what the results are. We'll give them to you when we come back here on Altitude Sports. Back here in Denver, Colorado, the Pioneers and the Falcons, after one rotation, having some good scores from both schools. And you got that first, rotation out of the way, get some of those jitters out of the way. As we look at the vault results here for the Pioneers, what jumps out to you, Marcy?
They just had great performances. I think every single gymnast of their 5 in the lineup really pulled what they needed to do. Of course, we're hoping to see that 10-0 from Maddie Carr, but 49.225 is exactly where they need to be at this point. And they'll just look for those stuck landings to get them a little bit higher further in the season.
And you can't ask for too much more with just 5 gymnasts.
And here's Maddie's vault again. Again, potential here for a 10-0. Just a little tiny hop on the landing, but definitely stand out for the Pioneers on vault today.
She has really taken off where she left off last season. And for the Air Force Falcons, team score 48.375.
And again, great job for them. They had some solid routines, just some little form breaks. You can see there are no dramatic misses on their part. So just a little bit of form work they need to do to bring up that score up a little bit higher to maybe even a 49. And the last performer, Salmoni, great job, 9.825. She has the potential to really be in the competition later in the season in the Nationals.
Anna Salamoni.
And here's that dismount, full twisting double. Again, if she can just get those handstands, she'll be right up there in the 9.9 range.
A great start to this afternoon for both gymnast squads. We're going to be back. We're going to switch events, and we'll be back at it here shortly. Nearly a full house in Magnus Arena. The fans have filed in to enjoy a sensational matchup between the Falcons and the Pioneers. We're getting set for the second rotation. Both teams doing very well in the first rotation, but for Air Force up on vault, here's a look at the lineup.
And you can see Marianne Murphy, one of their star all-arounders, up first. Then we see Tyler Davis a little bit further down. Clearly Lauren Miller is someone that we should watch as their best vaulter in the rotation. They're warming up here. You can hear the crowd behind us.
T-shirt toss going on in the arena here, and you can see the reaction from all these young gymnasts. It's Colorado Club Day, which means all the local clubs, any other clubs in Colorado, have been invited here, and they're enjoying it for sure.
And if any of you watching have not been to a meet in person, they are so much fun and such a great way to spend an afternoon or an evening. So I encourage other folks to come down. They are a great, great way to see this team, and seeing the meets live is different than watching it on TV as well.
Absolutely, and we certainly love watching us on TV. Marcy and Brad Thompson here with you, but the cheer team, the dance team are here. They do a great job. In-game entertainment does fantastic. These fans really enjoy it, and you cannot be unimpressed when you watch what happens in this gym. So Coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt, what a program. The culture of this program and where she has taken this program is unbelievable.
She has done a great job, and she is the reason why they are ranked the way they are this season and in the past couple of years. Nice first vault, Mariana. That's a front handspring front pike. Not many gymnasts do that vault. It really does take a lot of coordination and timing to do this vault right and get a great score. You can see it's a blind landing, little bit of tuck there at the end of the vault. So the judges could take a bit of a deduction for that, but nice execution on that vault.
Claire Kern is going to be up for the Pioneers, a junior from Charlotte, North Carolina.
And Claire does a release move right here, a straddle front Jaeger. She's really been someone that they've been able to count on here on bars. Nice handstand. That's what I'm talking about, the difference between what we saw from Air Force and DU. They really are working on those handstands, and I do have to attribute that a bit to Jessica Lopez, the volunteer coach who we'll talk about in a little bit. She's been to 3 Olympic Games and has really helped them, and that landing is a perfect example of something else they have really been focusing on this season. Sticking those landings, making sure the execution is right on top, legs straight, toes pointed. Watch this dismount and watch the height she gets. Double layout, laid out all the way around, and absolutely no movement. Exactly how they wanted her to start this meet for them on bars.
Jessica Kirkpatrick up on vault for Air Force.
And Jessica does Yurchenko vault. A little bit low. You can see she had to start twisting a bit early. Didn't quite get the block and the height off the vault that we've seen from some of the other competitors doing the same vault. So you'll see here she does round off on. She starts turning a little bit early, and you can see she's piked throughout the entire turn. That just means she did not get quite enough height, and she really had to pike down to make it all the way around and get her feet down on the ground for that landing. So there'll be some form break and some execution deductions there.
Emily Glynn, another freshman for the Pioneers.
And again, Emily coming off a fall last week. She is beautiful to watch. She reminds me of Julia Ross from last season. Just her lines are so beautiful on all the events that she competes. Great amplitude. Really has the potential for a high score. And watch this dismount at the end of this routine. She does one of the best full twisting double flyaways that I have seen in competition.
One of 2 Pioneer freshmen from Colorado. She's from Longmont.
Again, competing in front of her home crowd, which is not only her DU home crowd, but the home that she grew up in here in Colorado. Nice Ginger, beautiful height. Overshoot to the low bar, nice transition. And really all she has left is this beautiful dismount. Nice handstand right on top of the bar. Watch the height she gets on this. Full twisting double and a stuck landing. I really don't know what form or execution deductions they will be able to find in that routine. That was an amazing performance.
The crowd reacted just as you did, Marcy.
Watch this. She almost gets up higher on that second flip with the twist and just drops out of the sky. Beautiful bar routine.
Fellow gymnasts know that was sensational. Tyler Davis, we mentioned she is a freshman from Rolette, Texas.
She also does a Yurchenko vault. Nice height. A little bit of early twist again. We saw right off the board, and she just wasn't able to bring it all the way around. Lost that rotation because she didn't get quite enough block out of her shoulders before she started to complete the full twist. And again, that will count as a fall. They do have 6 gymnasts in this rotation, so they can drop their lowest score, which they'll probably want to drop hers.
Lindsey Brown is going to be next up on bars for the Pioneers. 5'3" freshman. Newcomer of the week in the Big 12.
She has a great smile, and you can tell she loves gymnastics and just enjoys the sport. Nice handstand. Good transition to the high bar. Very difficult. Not a lot of gymnasts in college do that combination. Beautiful switch back up to the high bar. Nice handstand there. Again, really trying to hit those handstands and getting set up for her dismount. Layout double flyaway. Little tiny hop on the landing, but that was great execution. Again, she's been a little sick this week. Hasn't been able to put in the numbers of routines that you would like to have going into this weekend's competition, but someone that they know they can depend on. She's got that muscle memory. Look at this beautiful double layout. Again, just a teeny little hop there on the landing. Very minor deductions.
Everything we've seen from Brown is really impressive, knowing that she didn't practice all week. So It's hard to believe she's competing here today. Now, Jamie Lewis, her score did not count on bars for her team, so I'm sure she wants to redeem herself a little bit on vault.
Nice vault, great stuck landing. That's a Yurchenko half blind landing. Wasn't quite as much height than amplitude as we've seen with some of the other gymnasts, but great job. Really needed that coming back from the fall they just had. You can see she kind of just stays even with the vault. Little bit low there. Had to sit down a teeny bit on the landing, but she was able to stick it. So just some execution form, amplitude deductions on that vault, but a good pickup from their last vault, which was a fall.
Mia Sundstrom on bars for the Pioneers.
You can see Mia's last score. She also had a fall last week at Arizona. Beautiful handstand. Reverse hecht, nice height. She missed her hand there, just a little bit of timing off. Again, that will be a fall. That's one of those mistakes that you don't usually see a gymnast do. Maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe a little bit of overexcitement there. So you can see Linus, one of the coaches, talking to her, just kind of trying to calm her down a little bit. Luckily, at that point in her routine, it's relatively easy to pick up and finish your routine.
And it's great that they have the opportunity there to talk to a coach, calm it down a little bit, kind of reset.
And all she has left here is her dismount. Double layout. And a nice landing. She'll be disappointed with that because coming off of last week, having another fall this week, but I really do think it's a little bit of jitters and nerves being a freshman and kind of figuring out where you fit into the team, but she has a lot of potential, and this dismount shows it. Just great execution there in the double layout.
Anna Salamone on vault for the Falcons.
Nice Yurchenko full. Little bit of pike down at the end, but she was able to hold on to that landing. Again, the judges are looking for height and distance away from the vault. That really shows them the amplitude the gymnast gets. You'll see she does a great job getting height, but just a little close to the vault and had to pike down right there at the end. And really tried to hold it so she didn't have to take a step forward.
Deanna Chesnock will be on bars, and we talked a lot about just 5 competitors for the Pioneers on vault. They do have 6 on bars in every other event, so that's the good news, especially when you look back at Mia.
There's a little pressure here on Deanna. I have to say, Deanna looks great this season. She really has been working hard in the gym. Put up a great performance last week. And they do want this score to count, so they're really depending upon her to help pick up from the fall they just had with Mia. Nice handstand. Giant with a full. Reverse hecht. Beautiful handstand. Overshoot. Nice transition back to Heber. She really looks confident up there. Beautiful handstand again. Getting ready for her dismount. Full twisting double flyaway and a stuck landing. This DU team is putting up a great bar rotation.
Coach Kutcher Reinhardt was really happy with Deanna and where she's just said really coming into her own.
She really has. It's almost like she's found her confidence this season. And it's really great to see because she has such potential to make this type of a contribution in every meet and to help to get them to get back to nationals.
Lauren Miller is now up. She's a freshman from Marietta, Georgia.
Again, a nice full twisting Yurchenko, little pike down at the end. But the great thing to see about Air Force is they are doing this level of difficulty. Most of their gymnasts are doing a Yurchenko full or a Yurchenko half. We saw the front handspring front pike from their first performer, Mariana. Their level of difficulty at Air Force on the vault has improved dramatically over the last few years, and it's great to see.
And Coach Doug Day is in charge of their program in his 12th year. He's done a fantastic job really raising the level. This program continues to go up and up and up, and he should be commended for his efforts. Now Maddie Carr on bars.
Nice handstand. She has a giant full into a Ginger. That is uncharacteristic of Maddie. I haven't seen her miss that release move very much at all. So the Pioneers will have to count a fall again on bars this meet.
That's 2 weeks in a row. And
2 weeks in a row on bars.
One thing they really wanted to avoid, unfortunately.
And Maddie is also in the running for the all-around, so this is going to impact her in the rankings as well. But we are early in the season. You can see she's frustrated with that.
The crowd cheering her on.
And again, difficult to pick up from that fall. She was supposed to go right into an overshoot on the low bar. She's going to try it again, it looks like. Yes. She wanted to get credit for that so that she can get as high a score as she can, which is very strategic from their part. Makes you very tired because now you've done several elements of your routine twice. Double layout. Beautiful landing. So other than the fall, she actually does get credit for both moves, which puts her back up to the 10-0 start value. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges do with this score. Double layout, beautiful stuck landing. And for her to come back from that and repeat that entire sequence again, that is exhausting. We do practice over practice, routine over routine at the gym, but to do that twice right back to back is very difficult. And a nice souk full.
Brooke Bruder.
Little step on the landing.
Exhibition though, so
again, this score will not count toward their total, giving her the opportunity to compete. So it's a half on to the vault and a full twist in the tuck position off. Pretty big step on the landing, but great for her to get that out in front of the crowd.
So 2 events down, we're heading to the 3rd rotation. The Pioneers will be up on beam next and the Falcons on floor, but we'll get the results of this rotation when we come back. Back here in the Mile High City, the Falcons and the Pioneers getting set for the third rotation, but we're going to look back at the second rotation as the Pioneers were up on bars.
And again, a bit disappointing they had to count a fall. Again, this competition, they had Maddie and Mia both fall on their bar routines, but the real standout to me is Emily Glenn, the freshman who fell last week, really came back from that and has a stellar bar routine. That dismount again, which is something that I haven't seen done that well in college competition, and really tees her up for competing at that national level at nationals, potentially placing. Watch the height she gets on that. Great stuck landing.
To watch some of these freshmen, I'm blown away personally to be looking at all the freshmen competing today for both squads. And look at the score there, 48-550 for the team score.
And then a great job for Air Force. Again, they had to count they did not have to count a fall, but they did have a fall from Tyler Davis. But the rest of their routines were all very strong, all in the 9-7 range, which is great for them. Again, just working on that form, execution, but we see here one of their best. Just a little bit of pike down in the landing, but overall a great vault.
Halfway done here with two events in the books. Deanna Chesnick and the Pioneers getting ready. Great crowd here at Magnus Arena. They are enjoying a show. More to come. The 97th meeting in gymnastics between the Falcons and the Pioneers. They've been competing against each other for a really long time, and why not? So easy as they're just down the road from each other. Here's the Pioneers lineup for beam.
Start off with the senior Nicole. She's been a staple for them, kicking off the rotation. We'll go through and finish with Caitlin Scow. Really strong lineup. This is where they really have done well, preparing for the season in their first meet. Last season, they had 6-for-6 routines.
And the Pioneers, again, we've talked about a lot. They're not at full strength right now. They've got some injuries, so they're only going to get better as the season goes on, as they get more pieces for Coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt to mix in there, and as the competition picks up in practice.
And they really do have this mental toughness on beam within their team that I've really been impressed with the past couple years. Melissa's, it's one of her passions, I think, is to really show that they're all together on this and they can do their best. And then we see Air Force on floor. They're going to be on floor exercise, starting out with Brittany Reed all the way through to Cassidy Bell. Strong performances. I was watching their warm-ups. They have some really strong tumbling passes. Again, great to see that level of difficulty at Air Force is really growing each year.
Again, Coach Doug Day is doing a fantastic job Nicole Addison will start things on the beam for the Pioneers, and she's a senior, and Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt said she is the leader of this squad.
She really does have mental toughness, but she also knows how to have fun and how to really get the other gymnasts to kind of in that mental state of being comfortable and knowing that they've prepared as much as they can and need to for each event and really just do what they've done in practice. Beautiful back handspring layout step out. And the gymnasts are required to show difficulty in both dance elements, which that was a leap there, as well as acrobatic, which was her series. Nice straddle jump. Beautifully done. It's amazing to find a gymnast with such power like Nicole has and flexibility. Nice aerial cartwheel, kind of pulled it off as a side semi. Little slight deduction there, but overall really good execution. All she has left is her dismount. And she does a gainer off the end of the beam. Nice stuck landing. Just little slight deductions, but overall a great start for the Pioneers. Exactly what they needed to get this rotation off with the momentum.
I love the reactions and energy from the teammates, fellow gymnasts.
Again, it's all about these landings. Little slight step on that landing, but overall great job.
Now over to floor, Brittany Reed for the Falcons.
And it really is nice to see personalities come on the floor. Double pike, great job. You'll see the mat on the floor. In college competition, you're actually allowed to use the mat. It's partially because as you get older and as you're competing in college, it's just harder on your body, and so they want to be able to protect those gymnasts. So you are allowed to have mats on the floor. Nice middle pass, 1.5 twist, very difficult. And each of the gymnasts does, on average, usually 3 passes. Sometimes they'll do 4 in college. And the judges really want to see that unique dance. They want to see a combination of someone who's very good acrobatically with their tumbling runs as well as dance moves. So amplitude in their splits and jumps. One more tumbling pass to go. Punch front layout and punch front full. Great front tumbling. And that was a nice start for Air Force. Really good difficulty. Really setting them off in the direction that they wanted to go as well.
Your teammates loving it as Reed, as you mentioned, getting the Falcons off to a good start on floor.
Here's that second pass. Remember, punch front 1.5. Great height on that. And then her last pass, also front tumbling, punch front layout into a front full. Nice job.
Back over to beam, Deanna Chesnock is up for DU.
You can see her last meet was a 9.675, definitely capable of higher than that. Nice leap series. She'll get bonus 10s for that second jump. Very difficult because you kind of lose sight of the beam. Nice series with a jump at the end, just really showing her control. Aerial walkover into another jump. Great job. You can see that little smile. She knows she's done a great job so far in this routine. Gainer full off the side. Nice landing. Another strong routine for the Pioneers. Really where she wanted to go from last week's competition. Just bring it up a little bit more. Watch this here. Aerial walkover right over the center of the beam. Showing that control again with a jump right after. And then the dismount. Tiny little hop on the landing, but great routine.
You mentioned that little smile. You want to celebrate a little bit, but you've got to stay focused. It's an interesting dynamic there. As we go over to the floor, it's Brooke Bruder, and she's another Colorado native. She's from Superior and went to Monarch High School.
Punch front to a double tuck, great height. A little bit of low on that landing, and she stepped out of bounds. That'll be a 1/10 of a point deduction in addition to the step deduction.
You can see the official's hand go up across the way.
Leaps there. You can see just not quite as much amplitude as the judges are probably looking for. They really want that 180-degree split. A little short on that jump, but getting ready for a second pass. Punch full into a front layout. Little slight step, but good middle pass. She just did 2 passes, so some of the gymnasts aren't required to do all 3 as long as they have the difficulty in their other tumbling runs.
So it depends on what's involved in each pass. There's Coach Doug Day.
Punch front into a double tuck. Again, little low on that landing and had to take a pretty significant step back. You'll see she stepped right on the line, which is that 1/10 of a point deduction.
Lindsey Brown, the freshman, on beam for the Pioneers.
Aerial walkover into a front flip. Very difficult series to do. Judges are really looking for that movement to keep going, and then she does back handspring into a jump. A little bit slow on that connection, so they may not give her that gymnastics acrobatic connection. Again, a requirement that the gymnast must do on the beam. Scissor split leap into another split jump. And Gainer full off the side, nice duck landing. That was a great job. A little bit of deductions here and there, but for somebody who hasn't, again, been able to practice all week to pull that type of a routine out just from muscle memory and from all the work she's done leading up to this week. Beautiful full twist off the side and a nice landing.
For Lindsey, expectations coming in were very high, and she, in just 2 meets, a meet and a half, she has really met those expectations and starting to exceed them. Mariana Murphy now for Air Force. And Marcy, how much does your floor routine change up, if at all, throughout the course of the season?
Typically not too much. Sometimes you can work on more difficult passes, a little low there on that first pass, double tuck. And maybe add some difficulty in your tumbling, maybe a little bit in your dance. But most gymnasts, it doesn't change. Now, there are 2 gymnasts on the DU team who have had to change their routines because of some injuries. So they'll want to get those tumbling passes back that they know they're capable of. ready for her next pass. And a half twist into a front layout. Nice job there. Mariana, again, one of their strong all-arounders for the Air Force Academy. And just resting up for her last pass. One and a half twist into a punch front. Just was a little too low on that takeoff and had to sit down. So that'll be a fall. They'll want to drop that routine, and I know she won't be happy with that, given that she's in the all-around competition.
Murphy, a junior from Phoenix, Arizona.
And again, we'll watch that first tumbling run, a double tuck, but look, she just lands a little bit low, kind of buckles in her knees, so slight deduction there. And then a whip with a half into a front layout, nice second pass.
Over to the beam, it's Mia Sundstrom for the Pioneers. And one thing Coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt told me she was most impressed about this team a week ago against Arizona was their mental toughness. Let's see how Mia bounces back here.
And Mia, that leap that she just did, the scissor half, is one of the best in the nation. People are talking about her ability to do that so well because not many gymnasts are able to do it at that level of 180-degree split on that second half. Nice aerial cartwheel. Getting ready for her acrobatic series right here. So far, this has been a really solid routine. Nice job, right over the middle of the beam. And nice stuck landing. That is exactly what she wanted. Again, disappointing coming off of that second fall on bars 2 weeks in a row, but coming back and showing that mental toughness. Watch here. Her last big thing in the routine right over the middle of the beam. And then her dismount, beautiful in the air, and a nice stuck landing.
What a freshman class Coach Melissa Kutcher-Reinhardt has brought in here. I mean, we're talking about one of the best freshman classes in the country with Glenn, Brown, and Sundstrom. And now Tyler Davis on floor for Air Force.
Very powerful gymnast. Full twisting double tuck. Beautiful. You don't see a lot of those in college gymnastics, and that was done very well. Front handspring, front layout, front full. Nice job. Nice leap series, beautiful split in the air. The thing I love about college gymnastics too is the gymnasts really do have a great time out there on the floor. They want to get the crowd involved. One more tumbling pass left. So far, a great routine. Double tuck. Nice landing. And that was a great routine.
Coach Day loving it, as he should, along with the rest of her teammates, as Davis impresses on floor.
And watch this pass. Full twisting double tuck. I don't know if Air Force has had one of those before. She may be the first. That caliber of difficulty is something that we haven't seen come out of Air Force. And look at finishing with the double tuck. Just absolutely great routine.
A lot of power and explosiveness there from Air Force. And over to the beam, it's Maddie Carr.
And Maddie is a competitor. She will want to do a great job on this routine after what happened to her on bars. This series is one of the most difficult you can do, and she just does it so easily. Aerial cartwheel into a back handspring. Nice leap into a side semi, that acrobatic series gymnastic combination. No question on that connection. Nice, very difficult leap. She wants to show everyone that that fall is not typical for her, and she is definitely capable of way more. And her dismount, watch this landing. It's almost like she just knows where it is. She doesn't even have to think about it. Her body just knows. I have seen her stick that landing over and over and over in competition and practice, and it is just impressive. And it's a blind landing. Watch the height she gets. Absolutely no movement. That was a great beam routine for Maddie.
And after her performance last week, winning the all-around, the Big 12 Gymnast of the Week, Jamie Lewis on floor.
Two and a half twist. Nice job. A little low on those leaps. Just be a little bit of execution deduction on those. Layout half into a front full. Nice job on her second pass. One last pass for her. Double tuck. Nice finish. That was a great job. Definitely her strength was in her tumbling. Dance, she left a little bit of deductions for the judges to take, but that was a strong routine for Air Force.
Lewis, the captain for the Falcons.
And here's that first pass. 2.5 twist. Little step to the side, but not much deduction there. And then finishing with the double tuck. Again, great to see Air Force finishing with that level of difficulty, just a stuck landing.
Back to the Pioneers now. It's Caitlin Scow, junior from Orlando, Florida. Haven't seen her perform yet for the Pioneers.
And Caitlin has the potential to do a very difficult acrobatic series. It's coming up right here. Aerial walkover into a back handspring layout step out. Right over the middle of the beam. Again, super difficult. Not many gymnasts in college do that level of connection in competition. Nice leap. I really feel like her level of execution this year has just really gone to that level. Toe point, beautiful leap series there. How straight her legs are. Everything the judges want to see. tuck landing. Another great routine by the Pioneers.
Great reaction.
You can see how happy Melissa is with that. Again, leaving very little for the judges to take off in any sort of form or execution deductions. This is her dismount. It's a back handspring into a gainer full off the side. Really fought for that landing. She doesn't want to leave any tense out there.
Caitlin is so confident and so consistent for the Pioneers. And you can see it in the face of her coach right there. Casey Bell is going to be up as we head over to the floor. She's from the Woodlands, Texas, Houston area.
And she's going to be their last competitor that could potentially count toward the team score. Sixth up in the rotation. Round off double pike. A little bit low on that landing. Double tuck. Most gymnasts you'll see do a round off back handspring into their tumbling passes. Some gymnasts just get better timing out of the round off. Nice leap series there. Her last pass left. Round off, 1.5 twist to a front layout. Great job. Remember, they wanted to drop that score where they had a fall. A strong finish for Air Force on floor.
Casey Bell, the senior, with a marvelous performance there.
And again, watch, we'll see her do a round off right into her double tuck. No deduction for that. It's just a choice the gymnast makes that they do it out of that better, and then 1.5 twist into a front layout. Great job. Strong finish for Air Force.
Emily Glenn, exhibition here on beam for DU.
So again, her score will not count toward the team total. And fell there on her mount, just a little bit crooked. Again, an uncharacteristic fall, but she can pick it up from here. Again, beautiful lines, beautiful split on those jumps. Acrobatic series. Right over the middle of the beam. Standing layout step out. Nice job. Little bit slow in that connection between the layout step out and her jump, so it could be a slight deduction from the judges. Hopefully they'll give her that connection. And dismount. Great routine other than that really uncharacteristic fall at the very beginning. You can see she's smiling. One of those mistakes you definitely know she won't make again.
Glenn from Airborne Gymnastics and Dance, and she's a teammate of Mia Sundstrom, too, from the same club for the Pioneers out of this freshman class.
Beautiful acrobatic series there. You can see the form in the air. And again, great landing. A little disappointing on that first fall, but again, she was exhibition, so that score won't count toward the team total.
Pioneers huddled up there. Heidi Sand, the floor exhibition.
Nice double pike. Good job, stayed in bounds. split in those leaps. So far, really a strong routine. Second pass. For handspring, 1.5 twist. Little low on that landing. Just didn't get quite enough punch to finish the rotation and on her feet. But again, that's why she's exhibition. It's a great opportunity to test out whether or not they have the endurance to pull off those big tumbling runs in competition. Last pass here, 1.5 twist into a punch front. Little low, but she pulled it around. Great job. I think if she can just build up her endurance a bit, we'll see her in the lineups in the future.
Heidi, just a freshman from Union, Kentucky.
Here's that first pass. It was a nice high double pike. Good form in the air. A little bit of a step on the landing, but nice job. And then that third pass, 1.5 twist into a punch front. Little bit low, but was able to pull it out. And good experience for her as exhibition.
Through 3 rotations, we've got one more coming up. The Pioneers will be on the floor next as the Falcons head over to the beam. Back here at Magnus Arena in Denver, Colorado. After 3 events, the Pioneers are in front. They had their best team score yet, and it was on beam.
They really did a great job on beam. They started off with Nicole, a little bit of form break, a little bit of execution deductions here and there, but really a 9-7 start. Carried them through with Maddie Carr with a 9-9, really coming back from that fall on bars, showing what she's able to do. And then Caitlin, 9.95, just a beautiful routine. This shows the caliber that this team is capable of. You watch here just her form and execution, beautiful dismount, and a stuck landing.
for Air Force, they were equally as impressive on the floor, a team score of 4.8225.
And Tyler Davis there with the 9.850. She really has the potential for that high score. And their team really does have a lot of difficulty. That was impressive, really seeing Air Force come together. That's a strong team score for them.
Davis was the gymnast newcomer of the week in the MPSF, collecting a conference award this past week.
And that was her last pass, double back, great height, really finishing strong.
She really separated as herself. She was very explosive, great height, as you mentioned, and the Pioneer fans here loving it. They're getting excited for the Pioneers to participate and compete on floor. It's coming up next. It's the fourth rotation here on Altitude Sports. Pioneers looking to finish strong here as they're on floor coming up here. But for the Pioneers, when we look ahead, Marcy, at things, they're headed to Boise State. That's on Friday. That's a quad meet. And then they'll be home again on January 27th. You can see that meet. They're going to take on the Aggies from Utah State. It's a Saturday. Crowd really fired up here to see the floor routines of the Pioneers. It's one of their strongest events. And we've got to talk about a DU alum, Jessica Lopez.
Jessica Lopez, a three-time Olympian from Venezuela. She was here at DU, competed, and then went to the Olympics after college. She really has the knowledge to share with these gymnasts of what it takes to compete at that international level. And I think a lot of their execution and the ability to really focus on those details has come from her focus this year. It's amazing to have her as a volunteer coach here at DU, and to have someone that can really kind of infuse that knowledge into this team is something that I know that everyone values.
She competed in the most recent Olympics in Rio
and
in 2016.
made it to finals on bars.
She's incredible. She competed here from 06 to 09, five-time All-American for the Pioneers. One of the most decorated alums here in this gymnastics program. And what an addition to the coaching staff. You can't get much more experience than that from a volunteer assistant.
And for her to come in and really want to share that knowledge with the team is really, really amazing to see. I will have to say that the alumni group we have here at DU just really is a family, and it's great to see people coming back and helping. I've seen a lot of the alumni that have graduated in previous years coming and helping decorate the locker room or do other things to really kind of help with the program.
Air Force is going to be up on beam as the Pioneers head over to the floor. This fourth rotation. Here's the lineup for the Pioneers.
Again, strong lineup. They're going to start with Caitlin. Usually they finish with Nicole or Maddie, but they're going to finish with Mia, give her maybe a chance to get a higher score. We're moving over to balance beam with Air Force.
This is Rita Konenbauer.
A little bit low. Just seemed like she was a little bit tired. Wasn't quite getting the push out of her arms that she needed or her legs to really continue that acrobatic series. Very difficult series to do. 2 back handsprings into a layout step out. Looks like she's okay, just taking a breath. It's hard to get back up from a fall like that. A nice scissor split leap. Nice leap series there. A little bit of execution deduction, but moving well after that fall. And her dismount. Gainer full off the end, a little bit low. Had to take a step on that landing, so definitely the score that they will want to drop. They'll be looking to hopefully get some other scores that are higher than that to keep for this rotation.
Konenbauer from Ira Township, Michigan. Pioneers are waiting now. Caitlin Scow. Great score on beam. And now they're going to add to it on the floor.
And the Denver choreography is great this year. They have a new person that's come in recently to do their floor routines and really does showcase the personality of the girls, but also flows really well. First pass. Double twist. Very difficult first pass, but she makes it look easy. Second pass, 1.5 into front layout. Great job. Beautiful execution in those leaps. And they've really been working on every little detail. And her last pass. Handspring, 1.5 twist into a leap, was able to keep that in bounds, and great finish for the Pioneers. She has great difficulty, good leaps and execution throughout her routine. We should see a very strong score. Here's that second pass, 1.5 twist into a front layout. Great job. And then the third pass, 1.5 twist. Little bit crooked, so could be a slight deduction from the judges depending upon their vantage point, but overall a great routine.
Tyler Davis competing in the all-around up on beam.
Leap series. Nice series there. Again, unique. Judges like to see gymnasts do things that not everybody else is doing. Scissor side leap. Looks very confident on the beam. All she has left is her dismount. Ground off, double twist, little step on the landing, a little bit of a hop, so slight deduction there, but overall that was a great routine. Good combination of leaps and acrobatic moves. A nice height on this dismount, just wasn't quite able to stick the landing, had to take a little hop back.
Well-deserved hugs from her teammates as Maddie Carr is now up on floor.
Nice double pike. Second pass, 1.5. Front full, beautifully executed. Beautiful leap series all the way around, really not leaving any room for deductions. Again, having a great time playing to the crowd. Last pass here. 1.5 twist, great job. Beautiful floor routine for Maddie.
Maddie Carr, a sophomore from Stillwater, Minnesota. Even though she's a sophomore, she's one of the captains of this team.
She and I understand why. She really is so confident and instills in confidence in everyone. Look at this tumbling pass, beautifully right on, great execution. It's almost like she just trusts herself and knows that her body knows how to do it. And having someone as a captain like that, it's less about the nerves and more about you can get this done and you've practiced it a million times. That's exactly what you want.
She's really the complete package. As we head over to beam, it's Riley Hill. Hill is a junior from Ventura, California. We haven't seen her compete yet for Air Force.
And some of the gymnasts in college are able to be specialists on individual events, which is another great thing about college compared to club gymnastics, where you really have to be an all-arounder. She was trying to save that on the beam. It was just a little too crooked and missed that front foot. So they will have to count a fall on beam. Just looks like she's a little bit off. May have hurt her foot a little bit on her acrobatic series. Looks like she may be bleeding actually a little bit on the beam.
And you saw her motion earlier over to one of the assistant coaches, and the assistant coach had that look of, I'm not sure what you mean.
I think she was trying to ask her, do you see any blood? I think was it, but she couldn't tell what she was asking, and she is bleeding, so she must have torn her foot a little bit when she missed that acrobatic move.
And that was associate head coach Jennifer Langley. And Marcy, I think you've got it right. Coach Day is talking about getting that beam cleaned off.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay. Nothing more than a little cut.
You don't think about it, but the edges of the beam are pretty sharp if you hit the edge. Usually that's not where your foot's coming down, but if it is, it can slice you.
And now the freshman Lindsey Brown on floor.
And she really is having a great time. At least it seems like that in college. one of the first freshmen I've actually seen enjoy doing her floor routine. They try to learn this over the course of 4 years here in college because it's very different from club, but she really is having a great time. Double layout. Beautiful. She really is one of the names in college gymnastics that people are talking about. Second pass, 1.5, punch front layout into a leap. Again, showing that control, being able to do a jump out of a very difficult acrobatic series really shows that you have that confidence in that pass to the judges. Remember, she's been sick all week, so this is where everything's going to be told is when you haven't been able to practice, it's your endurance that loses. And so she really is a great fighter. Double tuck, a little bit low on that landing, but overall, great routine.
It's hard to believe she didn't practice all week. This is just the second week of the season, so to not be able to practice and just compete.
She's got to have a sigh of relief. Like I made it through, but she didn't even just make it through. She had a great set of routines today. Look at that double layout. Huge height. Really no deductions there. The only deduction was really that last pass. This is the second pass. Again, great execution here. Really just a little low on that last pass.
There's Lindsay and Coach Kutcher Reinhardt talking, and then Jay Hogue, another coach. We talked about Jessica Lopez, and Jay Hogue is a former Pioneer. He used to coach here, and now he's back.
And he was at Georgia. Again, a strong powerhouse team in the NCAAs. They've been to nationals several years in a row. They've also won nationals in the past. And to come from that program back to DU, you can see the commitment that he has to building this program and to continuing to build it. I mean, Denver used to be a team that you had to really push to get people to see how great they were. But to be ranked 8th in the nation coming into the start of the season in the polls, and to know that they have the recognition, and now that they have Jay, and they also have Coach Jessica Lopez helping them out, really everyone is taking notice.
Coach has really elevated her assistants, the coaching staff, and squad. Listen, if you're enjoying this high-flying energy and entertainment, Denver Gymnastics is back in town, and they need you to create a winning atmosphere in Hamilton Gymnasium. Join your nationally ranked DU Pioneers Saturday, January 27th, as they host Utah State. DU Gymnastics is affordable and fun for all. Purchase tickets now at denverpioneers.com. You're going to want to get your tickets early for that, because you can see the turnout here in Magnus, and then when you go over into Hamilton, it's a little bit smaller. They sell that thing out, so get your tickets early for Utah State.
Absolutely, you don't want to miss it. Again, being there in person is a great experience, and they're just an amazing team to watch.
Every time I'm here, every event I work, I'm blown away by how powerful and explosive, graceful, and beautiful these athletes are. It's really, really impressive. As we head over to the beam now, it got cleaned off after that injury. Annalise Howard.
Nice leap there. Scissor ring leap. You can see the brace on her knee. Usually due to, in most cases, a torn ACL in a previous season. And it is a little difficult to get used to wearing a brace like that. If you think about the beam and the balance, and it takes a little time to kind of get used to it. And then once you can take it off, you have to adjust back. Nice job there. Just seemed like she had a little bit too much rotation. We have been a little bit crooked and had to step off. So another fall for Air Force on beam. Series. Other than the fall, this routine actually has been very strong. Ring gainer off the end. She piked around a little too much, was caused her to sit down at the end, so that'll be 2 falls for that routine. And I know Air Force has to be a little disappointed coming off of this rotation. They had 3 great rotations coming in and then just a disappointing beam.
Nicole Addison, one of the 3 captains for the Pioneers.
Double layout, great height. This really is a fun routine. Second pass. 1.5. Punch front layout, great job. Beautiful job on those leads. Last pass. Double pike. Great job. Beautiful finish. We're going to see a great score for Nicole on that floor routine. She really left little off for the judges to take, so I'll be excited to see what this one posts. Here's our first pass. Watch this beautiful double layout. Nice height. Look at the rotation on that second flip, even goes higher than the first. And then this is that last pass. Very difficult to end with the double pike. Beautiful landing.
We talked about Lindsey Brown having fun. How much fun does Nicole Addison have out there on the floor?
And I do think that it's a little bit infectious when certain of your older athletes on the team, some of the seniors and some of the juniors, really do have a great time. The freshmen get into it a little bit faster, and it's great to see that happening here.
Murphy competing here for Air Force.
A little bit of trouble with those series. Nice pike jump into a straddle quarter. Dismount left. Actually, sorry, leap series. Good job. You can see just a little short on that execution. But overall, great pickup after that fall and a nice stuck landing. We'll take a look at that dismount again. Nice height and a stuck landing. The beam just hasn't been great to Air Force tonight.
Mia Sundstrom, the freshman, competing on floor.
You can see there, I think she had a 9.525 at Arizona. Definitely not what she's capable of. They put her last here in the rotation, I think a bit strategically, to see if it can help her score a bit. First pass. Double tuck. Nice job. Made that look very easy. into front full. Great job. Beautiful leap series. Beautiful. And she only does 2 tumbling passes. She's had some injuries, so she made up for it with some of her dance to get her to her 10-0 start value, but that was a great routine. Here's her first pass. Nice double tuck. She's definitely capable of harder tumbling, but they've been a little careful with her as they want to save her for the end of the season. You can see her second pass, front layout into front full. And then great dance in between.
Emily Lures competing here on beam.
She'll be their final competitor on beam today. That will count toward the team score.
I'm sure she knows they could really use a solid score from her.
And in some cases, the pressure is actually a little bit less when most people on your team have fallen, because you know that this isn't going to be one of your best scores. So it's really kind of all about what you can do. Very creative acrobatic series. A little bit crooked on the swing down, but also difficult. Nice save there. A little bit off balance, just needs to regain her composure. But overall doing a nice job picking up from the falls from her previous teammates. And her dismount. Gainer full off the side, great landing. She was going to be happy with that routine, and Air Force really wants to finish strong in this meet, and she did a great job for them in that. And here's that series. One arm front walkover into it, like handspring swing down. Again, a little crooked, but more difficult pass, and then gainer full off the side. And we won't see another competitor from DU. They are done. They had an injury, so they only had 5 gymnasts on floor, but they finished very strong.
They did indeed, and floor, one of their strongest events. And it's Colorado Club Day. One thing I want to touch on, the most represented club here is Airborne Gymnastics and Dance, local club. 2 freshmen from Air Force from there, and 2 freshmen for the Pioneers.
And
from
a senior,
club.
Claire, and one of the other gymnasts actually on the team too is also from Airborne.
Impressive to see. What did their club team look like last year when you send 4 athletes?
4 athletes to college.
Incredibly impressive. As we're up on exhibition, Lynn Jade on beam.
And again, this score will not count toward the team total. But given the falls from the rest of her teammates, if she can do a really good job in this performance, she may end up in the lineup. Nice aerial walkover. Handspring, layout, step out. Nice right over the middle. She actually didn't have quite as much push from her feet on that flip, but she was able to pull it out right over the center of the beam. And good, solid routine. I would be surprised if she doesn't end up in the lineup for their next competition.
with that performance, you can see why she's earned that opportunity.
Watch this series. She's a little low, but she's able to pull it out. And then her dismount here, leap into a full twist, nice connection. Great finish for them.
Well done by Air Force, but some huge scores for the Pioneers on floor. We will give you those results when we come back. All the competition is wrapped up here at Magnus Arena. It's time to go over some of the results and the scores. The Pioneers outstanding on floor. 49.450 is the team result.
They had a great rotation. Again, they didn't have 6 people on floor. They had to count all 5 scores. And I think the surprise here is Mia. Mia was unable to do 3 tumbling passes. They've reconfigured her routine to really show off her dance, which she is amazing at. And that's what was able to give her that score, was that 9.95. You can see we had 9.925 by Nicole and a 9.925 from Maddie. Just a great floor rotation for the Pioneers. You can see here Mia, this is her first pass, a beautiful double tuck, not one of the more difficult passes you'll see, but again, that dance that she does is amazing and was able to get her that big score.
3 different Pioneers above 9.9, and then the Falcons, this wasn't their best beam as a team. You can see the score there, 45.775.
They had almost every person on their team fell with the exception of 2. Very disappointing rotation for them. But the great part is they did have a really strong performance by Tyler Davis. And then Emily coming on in that exhibition rotation, really proving herself and showing that she can really bring those scores up. So I know that'll be a place I'll be looking to work on in the gym.
Davis impressed throughout, not just on the beam.
and she really has potential. I mean, again, it's the stuck landing. It's just making sure that you're leaving less and less of those little 10s for the judges to give. She really has a lot of potential here in the NCAA competitions.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with the final results and see how all of this wrapped up. The Pioneers and the Falcons are done competing. The results next. The Pioneers and the Falcons competing today. An impressive performance by both squads, but really the Pioneers, when you coming in, Marcy, they were a top-ranked team. They came in 8th in the country, and they did not disappoint.
They did a great job. Again, they had to count another fall on bars, which is disappointing, but giving a score that they did at the end of this meet with that fall and the performances they had the rest of rotations really shows what this team is all about, and they really are making the road to nationals.
And a great atmosphere here at Magnus Arena, almost a packed house, nearly 7,000 people. It was impressive. The Pioneers started off on vault, as they always do here at home, and it went well.
They did. They had some great performances. You see here, really Denver, the strong point on vault. We had Maddie Carr with a 9.9. We had everyone else had a 9.8, which really gave them the confidence moving into the rest of the rotations. We see Air Force, their strong performance is just not of the caliber of the Rainiers.
The second rotation was the bars. We talked about coming in last week. It's what they wanted to prove upon. It was kind of more of the same this week.
And the great thing to see is Emily Glenn there, 9.9. She fell last week, so they are, getting that confidence with their freshmen. That uncharacteristic fall by Maddie Carr, just disappointing, but they can come back from that. Again, when we look at the results, again, DU, just the caliber and execution they have, just a little bit above that of Air Force, but strong performances by Air Force as well.
For the Pioneers, their second best event was the Beam. They were over 49 with their team score.
And Caitlin, beautiful 9.95. Maddie with a 9.9. Look at those 9.8s. Again, just something that Melissa really strives in them is that confidence on beam, and we can see that coming through. And then you can see Emily Lures from Air Force fitting right in there with Nicole Addison 9.7. She led them off. I know she's capable of more. They can really score high the rest of the season on beam.
After a terrific performance on beam, they went to the floor, and man, did they shine. They were impressive. A score of 49.450 as a team.
One of their highest floor team scores, and they only had 5 competitors. And we see Mia Sundstrom, that top 9.95 score. Again, I talked about the dance being critical. The rest of their team super strong. Tyler Davis from Air Force right up in there with the rest of them, but exactly what they needed. Lindsey Brown, we'll definitely see a higher score from her in the future when she comes back a little bit more rested and prepared after not being sick.
Pioneers certainly not even full strength, but what a performance from them. When you look at all the scores, the final team scores there, 196.800 for the Pioneers. What's your biggest takeaway?
I think they did a great job. Again, they had to count a fall, which is disappointing, so they won't be as high in the rankings as they look to be. But this team has the potential to very easily score a 197.5 plus, and that's what you need to get to nationals. So again, a great job. They'll really want to work on those bar routines and make sure they're confident.
This team is loaded. It's great to see them compete. They're going to continue to get stronger as the season goes on. They'll be back in action next week at Boise State, and then they'll be back home at Utah State on January 27th. On behalf of our entire production crew, I'm Brad Thompson saying so long from Magnus Arena, where the Pioneers have beaten the Falcons. Be sure to join us on Friday, January 19th, as your Pioneer hockey team faces off against the Mavericks. Puck drop set for 7 p.m. Tonight's telecast has been a production of the University of Denver's copyrighted telecast of Altitude Sports, which may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the University of Denver and Altitude Sports.